morning, everyone. Thank you for having me, Jake. I am thrilled to be able to show our evolution of a landing page. So originally, as you know, all might have heard yesterday, we're the first autism certified city in the United States. And so our first landing page is really to speak about that. So I'm just going to show you live what this, and this is how the page appears today. Some of the very obviously the stuff that is happening right now is front and center. So we have an event that's coming up in October. So we just wanted to feature that. But for anybody who's coming to our website to plan their visit, this is what they're going to see. So we are really into obviously telling the story, because that's the most important part, is we want people to feel connected to what we're doing in our mission. So we have several videos on this landing page. There's one of them. I'm not going to show all of them. I wish I could, but of course you can hop on this at any time. We do have obviously hotels and attractions and all the information that anybody who's planning a trip to Mesa can view. And I can pop into this right now. So this is, if you were to click on the hotels page, for example, you can see all of these awesome hotels that are certified autism centers. So really proud of that. Any one of these knows exactly what to do when someone who has autism can visit our city. And then of course, all of the dining options, there's sensory guides, there's frequently asked questions. You can learn about how we became our mission, how we became certified for autism, more video content, the geo tour, great photography, of course. And then this is just, I have to take a second, like all of these businesses are autism certified in Mesa. Like that's pretty awesome. Really proud of that. I know, right? I know. What can I say? I'm just really excited whenever I talk about this. It makes me really proud to be part of Mesa. So again, this was how we started. This was our accessibility page, but now we have this page, but then we now have an accessibility page. So first I want to show something really quick. It's a video. We just produced this and it's not even, I mean, we just uploaded it yesterday, so it's brand spanking new, but I wanted to share this video with you. Oh, we have sound. Or maybe not. Okay, that's fine. You can, we will be able to see. Oh, there we go. Nice. So a couple of things I wanted to point out in that video is none of those people are models. They're all locals. We wanted real authentic people to represent real authentic things. And the direction that I gave them was just be you. And the reason we're doing this video is to show everybody that we want you to explore City Limitless in the limitless way that you would do it, because you're just like anybody else. We want you to travel and enjoy it. So I wanted to share that with you, and that is going to live on our new landing page as soon as we get it going. But right now, if you were to visit our accessibility and inclusion page, this is how it looks. One of the shots from the video here, the masthead. And the whole point of this that I wanted to express is that this is an evolution. This is never done. It's a journey. Keep adding to it. It's never going to be perfect. but it's your intent. So if your intent is that I want to do the right thing and be as inclusive as possible, that's all that matters. It comes, all the content comes. And our partners, when we share that our vision about city limitless, that we want people to come as they are and enjoy the city in a limitless way, the partners get right on board. And all I had to do is say, hey, what are you doing above and beyond the ADA compliancy? What other things do you offer? And so I was able to get the list of the things. For example, if you were to click on the attractions, you can go through all of these attractions, and there is where they submitted their information, the stuff that they're doing above and beyond. I didn't list things that they should be doing. I listed stuff that is above and beyond the ADA stuff. And again, you can see restaurants, dining, hotels, and then we have other resources as you go to plan your trip, different travel agents, transportation, et cetera, additional resources. We just newly added this provide feedback, where if you click on it, if you see something that we didn't mention, or, oh, you should know this, or whatever, you can provide that feedback to us, because it is all about crowdsourcing. And that was a suggestion of Jake. And so that's really a great opportunity for people to include themselves in our evolution of our offerings. And then information about the Hidden Disability Sunflower Program, autism, all of that. So that's how it stands today. And then I also wanted to give you a glimpse of the future. So this is not a published landing page yet, but as you'll see, it's already, I mean, this obviously is the evolution of it. So it looks similar, but it was mentioned yesterday that we have partnered with Threshold 360 to offer video tours. And one of the things I wanted to show you is different itineraries that we're going to provide. This is just an example, and not necessarily the layout yet. It's not beautiful yet, but this is an idea of what we're planning on doing. And I also wanted to show that if you were to click on one of these locations, what the instructions they gave to Threshold 360 is that when you're there, make sure that you're capturing the restrooms. Make sure if you're at a hotel, you're capturing the ADA guest rooms, things like that, because that way we're including everybody that might need to be planning something because they have a special need of, I need to have a certain way of having the restroom, for example, a bench, or getting into a tub, or whatever that might be, so that they know what to expect in these rooms or into these facilities. And then our video will be in here. So somewhere, it may not be there, but again, that's where the video content will be there. So these are the things. It's a constant changing thing. And it's, like I said, it's never going to be perfect, but we're doing our best. And that is really all it's about.
Thank you very much, Allison. So what I got from that presentation is that you can create a landing. These are the gold standards of accessible landing pages, I have to tell you. And what she's done with using different providers and vendors, and to create I think you'll have probably the first 360 video itinerary that exists anywhere. And so, but you don't have to start that way.
No.
And I saw Minnesota has a landing page. They started with actually three entries in it, just, and there's a trail, accessible trail, and then 2 providers. And now they have 25, including the hotels. And the landing page is a living organism and a work in progress, and it's never going to be done. So you just have to accept that. And so anyway, so now we're going to, and I haven't seen the results of this audit, how accessible, about our landing pages, but Erin, you want to talk about this?
Absolutely. And I will say it's all good news. And I have to ask, am I the only one here that always wants to hold up a +1? I hear these stories and everything, these comments, and I'm just like, yes, thank you. in kindred spirits around us here. So, and yes, so I am Erin Foss. I'm with Miles Partnership. And when we initially started to partner with TravelAbility on the landing page project and herd accessibility, we first wanted to figure out, all right, the true leaders of this content already have this these things on their website. So I conducted an audit of them, going through each one of them and scoring on various criteria, mostly about the presence of content. Were all the different disability categories mentioned? Did they have information? What type of information? Was there information that was critical to planning? Things like arriving at the airport, things like transportation, sidewalks, those types of things that are kind of mission critical to a successful vacation. But the real motivation behind all of this was to figure out how to support other destinations to create these landing pages. Again, most like these websites that are on there right now are the best of the best. And as we've said, it is a progress, it is a process. And we need more and more destinations to include this information. So how can we take the information that is already out there and distill it down to what is now called the maturity scale? So as part of this audit, and the full results are available at milespartnership.com/travelability. And the maturity scale is broken out into beginner, intermediate, advanced, and expert. And for all of these stages, I have outlined the characteristics that the pages that already exist have. So getting started now in reference with that beginner step, what it is explicitly in the document as far as what you need or what is recommended as a baseline for you to get started. How do you build that? How do you move into the intermediate, advanced, and expert levels? And as Allison said, this is a process. This is never going to be done. And we just want to encourage everybody to put that first foot in front of the other and to start creating more and more content. So a couple of just the key takeaways. Again, the full results are available at milespartnership.com/travelability. Be specific. And let me start by saying, none of this is revolutionary. We have all heard this stuff even this morning and yesterday. Be specific. Claiming giant, we are accessible. Accessibility is very subjective. And so when you are talking about mobile accessibility, say that. When you're talking about hearing or visual accessibility, say that. Group that content together so that it is easy for users to distill that information versus having a very, 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 very long page of content that is all text that doesn't have a whole lot of headers, breakpoints. We're all still trying to use, this is all just basic usability at this point. So be specific. And the other key takeaway that I'll leave you with, also all of this again is available in that presentation on the Travelability page, is the best content really comes from those who are partnering with the subject matter experts. Those are the people, the travelers, the influencers that this is their day-to-day. They are planning trips for people with autism or families that have, an adult in a wheelchair, every combination of things. So when you want to get started, as we've already said this morning, ask the questions, get in touch with the people who already know this information and use them to support your efforts as well, because as we've all heard before, there is nothing about us without us. And so when you want to get started, make sure that you're including that. Back to you, Jake.
So do you have any numbers on beginner, intermediate, and expert, and just the, like what percentages of the landing pages currently, is that on the website that you're talking about? Or
so the maturity scale was manifested as a result of the landing page audit. I didn't necessarily rank the existing landing pages in whether they were beginner or intermediate, etc. And that is because, in my opinion, all of these are advanced landing pages. These are the people who have done it first. The fact that they already exist makes them exemplary.
Okay, great. Thank you, Erin. So now we'll move to Mo Shefferden. Mo from Travel Oregon. And so we have kind of a model CVB website, And now we're moving to a model state website. So take it away.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Can everybody see my screen okay? Looks like it. Okay, cool. So like Jake said, Mo Sheriff Dean with Travel Oregon. I am the Director of Integrated Marketing, which essentially means my team oversees all of our consumer-facing platforms and content. And so, accessibility for us is essentially part of our DNA. It's, part of our DEI initiatives. Oregon is a large, diverse state. And essentially what it comes down to is we want every Oregonian and every visitor to our state feel welcome, safe, and valued as they travel the state and enjoy, all what we have to offer. So that's that's what drives the work that we do to make sure that our, the website, the content tells the story of, everybody who lives here and for all of those people of every ability. So that's kind of what drives it. On a personal level, we are all getting older. We have people on my team, myself included, parents who are, 70 plus. And, that's one of the things that drive when we travel together is looking for places that are on the ground floor or bathrooms with handrails, beaches that have wheelchair accessibility, things like that. So on a personal level, this work is also very meaningful to me because it's how, my family, we travel. So let's jump into the landing page. So from a structural standpoint, it's not really, the recipe we follow is very basic. It kind of, echoes the work that all of you do from a DMO standpoint. The landing page essentially captures both the inspirational stuff and also, practical information for a traveler who's looking for that information. So our accessible landing page, highlights, key trip ideas. So this is essentially our, best of the best editorial about accessible travel in Oregon. This is a story we just published actually yesterday about accessible beach and coastal travel and trails. And then as you go down the landing page, we essentially put a lens on different places in Oregon through editorial, kind of headlines, for lack of a better word. Epic Trips, highlights kind of our epic places in Oregon, national parks, national monuments, et cetera, offer accessible travel opportunities. And then, like most states on the coast, the water is a big draw for folks. And so, again, another editorial lens into beaches, rivers, and lakes that have accessible, kayak launches, for example. And it's just kind of a mix of our own editorial and also third parties. So, for example, some of these videos here are independently produced by USDA and Forest Service. And we just happen to, kind of our job here is to curate the best of the best content. So I think one thing I like to tell DMOs is you don't have to create all of this content yourself, right? Your partners are doing a great job creating their own content. And so figure out a way to highlight that content on your landing page so that you're not doing all the work and you don't have to invest a ton of money into doing that work. And then as you go down the landing page, again, we highlight state parks is a huge part of Oregon. And so just give a flavor for some of the ways folks can enjoy our state parks. And then also outdoor adventure. There's a lot of nonprofits and groups in Oregon, like the Oregon Spinal Cord Disability Foundation, Adventures Without Limits. And all the work they do is, focused around getting folks outdoors and on trails, on the mountain, and renting out equipment. And so this content, again, showcases ways that folks can actually go in the outdoors, enjoy the snow and the trails in Oregon without worrying about how to do it through independent partners. I think other DMOs have talked here about partnerships. Again, a lot of this content is in partnership with the disability community. So for example, we worked with the Adventures Without Limits, Oregon Spinal Cord Foundation to create a PDF, which I will have on this tab here. It's essentially a PDF by the community of kind of, their weekend adventures. So this isn't, marketers or actors. It's real people enjoying Oregon, and they talk about their weekend trips and the places that they go and why it's important from their standpoint and why it's accessible. And so, again, the key here is working with the community. Obviously, we're not all experts. I have no idea what it's like to be in a wheelchair or have anxiety. And it's about working with the community to make sure that we're telling their story in an accurate way and showing, real places in Oregon that they can enjoy. The final point I want to make is, it's easy to put all of our accessible content in a landing page. I think the harder challenge for us is to figure out how we can make that content kind of live across the place. So, you're reading a story about kayaking or going to the beach in Oregon, and we happen to show a person in a wheelchair, for example, within that creative. So here's an example where we try to do that. So this is a creative from our brand campaign. And this is all about enjoying the mountains in Oregon. And if you look on the far right, you'll see somebody in an adaptive ski unit. And so it's kind of finding ways to tell that story across all the work we do. It's harder for sure, but I think it's rewarding at the end. So I'll stop there and open it up for questions.
So there's a question from the audience, from the virtual audience, on what terms do you actually use on the website in terms of the actual terms to describe the different disabilities, I guess, is the question. So can you? Yeah,
I think we use accessible. Obviously, we use the word accessible quite a bit. We use ADA, wheelchair accessibility, in some of the editorial. We've used kind of the normal stuff like wheelchair accessibility, beach wheelchairs, accessible kayak launches. Those are the top things that come to mind.
So, and Allison?
Yeah, I would echo the same. We kind of just speak to, their visitors, number one, right? So it's accessible travel and great. And you're a visitor. So we're trying our best to not label, I guess would be.
So another point that I wanted to bring up is that, these are the model websites that we're showing, but some of the landing pages that we have include just basic listings, which is really good. And that's, they didn't have the budget to create a video. They didn't have the budget to create all of this content so they just had a listing, which is really sufficient. So, but what I'm taking away is really that to create the landing page, the first step is really to find the people in the community to give you advice on what's really accessible and how they would perceive it and what they would do. So I think it's asking questions. And so anyway, thank you to this panel. I think they did a great job.